What did they do? What made them mess up so much that you couldn't save that whole nation? What were those people doing? And are we doing the same thing and bringing that kind of judgment on us? Psalm chapter 50, verse 21. Here we see he richly outthinks all of us, and God laughingly ridicules his creation. These things you have done. And God says, and I kept silence. And then he says, you thought that I was just like you. God is saying, what, fools? I'm not like you. Just because when you sin, God don't bring judgment doesn't mean he took a vacation. He said, you thought because I didn't do nothing, you think I'm dead? Continue to read. He says, I will reprove you and state the case in order before your eyes. In other words, God has said, I'll do it right in front of your face. God is saying, you tick and play me off. I've told you I'm frustrated with your sin, and now what I'm doing is I'm laying a foundation that I am God. I cannot allow you to do that to me, and now you think I'm like you, and I'm just going to take a vacation and leave because you still breathing and feeling good? They got somebody, and he ain't in this church, but they got somebody got a nickname named Easy. He bragged on his sexual prowess, on how you should kill the police and all of that. His body is now hooked up to because sin has taken him out. God said, you play me off, I will come in your face. The church, I don't care, you can have pastors, preachers, everybody around you. I've been telling you young bappers and rappers and backstabbing yappers that kind of stuff is sinful and God will judge it. Now if your children has that stuff in the house, act like you got some Holy Ghost and get rid of it. Lest you afraid of that child you brought in the world, bring him to my house, I'll kick his behind in front of you. Man, I ain't scared of none of them. Man, we done lost our minds. We done lost our minds. So God laughs at us. Psalm 55. Now, Psalm 55. Just turn a few pages. Ooh, the Lord is, I said, oh, Lord, give me more of this. Give me more of this. Psalm 55, 19 and verse 23. When you go to Psalm 55, verse 19, God will hear and answer them. Even the one who sits enthroned from of old, with whom there is no change, and who do not fear God. In other words, the one that's sitting on that throne who ain't going to never change. He says, oh, you think I'm changing? Now look at verse 23. But thou, O God, will bring them down to the pit of destruction. Men of bloodshed and deceit will not live out half their days, but I will trust in thee. Now here the psalmist says, the fools that are out here talking this stuff, they're not going to live half of their days. It's just happened in our society, whether you like it or not. Whenever I see stuff on the TV like that, I just say, Lord, keep on killing them. That's your judgment on sin. And I'm telling you, most of our folks' children are in church, got the CDs and the tapes. And the parents ain't saying nothing. God's about to judge some of you parents. Oh, man, we got it right. They had Elvis. We had Easy. Elvis is dead, and Easy's on the way. I worship a mighty God. I don't know what this fools you dealing with. The petty human beings. Jesus. Continue to track with me. Go to Proverbs now. Proverbs chapter 1. Proverbs chapter 1. If you love the Word of God, you don't mind turning these pages. Because you see, that's what's going to give you salvation. Proverbs chapter 1, we're going to read verses 24 through 30, which are the results formulated by an angry God. Verses 24 through 30. God is ticked off. Because I called and you refused. I stretched out my hand and no one paid attention. And you neglected all of my counsel and did not want my reproof. I will even laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your dread comes. When your dread comes like a storm and your calamity comes like a whirlwind, when distress and anguish comes on you, then they will call on me. But I will not answer. They will seek me diligently, but they will not find me, because they hated knowledge and did not choose to fear the Lord. They would not accept my counsel. They spurned all of my reproof, so they shall eat of the fruit of their own way. Man, God is rapping here. And he says, and be satisfied with their own devices. For the waywardness of the naive shall kill them, and the complacency of fools shall destroy them. Look at verse 33. But he who listens to me shall live securely, and shall be at ease from the dread of evil. Woo! God is saying, look at here, folks. You do right, and I'll preserve you. You do wrong, I will destroy you. You do wrong in the face of right, I will bring you to dread. You will call on me. I will not answer you. I will laugh at you as you rot in scorning me. But the ones that love me, this shall never come on them. Now you understand why Israel just had a remnant saved. Because the same God that loved and chose them got ticked off by them. And here we are in the church thinking that we can play God off in the very same way. Stick with me here. Stick with me here. Ecclesiastes chapter 8. Go to Ecclesiastes. Oh, Pastor John, you can't find any more. I can't breathe. I know. Yes. I couldn't either when I got through studying all this. Really, Ecclesiastes chapter 8, we're going to start at verse 11 through verse 13 as the Lord speaks plainly as to how disobedient people think. Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verses 11 through 13. Because the sentence against an evil deed is not executed quickly. You see, this is God saying, see, you folk want to play off sin. So you, like me sometimes, in my humanness, we don't want to punish the person. So God renders some formulation here. He says, because you are quick to, to excuse it, therefore the hearts of the sons of men among them are given fully to do evil. In other words, since we don't address sin quickly, they're going to keep on doing it. When sin happens in the church and you're going to wait, well, let's wait and see if they're going to get better. God is saying they only get worse. When you don't address sin in your life and the lives of those around you, it's going to get worse. What verse was I on? I talked so much I lost my way. All right. I'm at verse 11. Okay. All right. Quickly. Now. All right. Verse 12. Although a sinner does evil 100 times and may lengthen his life, still I know that it will be well for those who fear God, who fear him openly. Look at verse 13. But it will not be well for the evil man, and he will not lengthen his days like a shadow, because he does not fear God. I think that's very plain. God is saying, those of you that are trying to help somebody by not letting, let me use me, Pastor John, know about the debauchery, you're hurting them. You're hurting yourself. Because what I do as a loving pastor is I say, bring judgment on them. Inflict judgment on them. I saw a special on TV, and the special said the teachers can't even whip or even look like they're going to chastise the child now. I don't know what to do with my children. And if you parents don't know what to do, bring them by my house. I'm going to put a cup of water on the coffee table. I'm going to put it there, and I'm going to tell the little rascal, don't touch it. And it's going to be a shiny little cup. Red, white, and blue. And I'm going to say to the little snooker, don't touch it. Look at it, but don't touch it. And then I'm going to take you, the parent, into another room, and we're going to be watching Because the little snooker is going to be walking around and see, I'm trying to teach you how to chastise. And when the snooker touches it, I'm going to have it leaning halfway over. So the minute he touches it, it's going to fall over and waste water everywhere. I set him up to do it because I know human nature. Then when the little snooker knocks it over, I'm coming in with a switch and I'm going to give it to you. I said, now punish them and let them know don't touch anything that you were told not to touch. If you can't do it, you are the ruining of your child. Then I will grab the little switch and give him something good. And then I said, now I don't care what you do in your house, but when you come here, don't touch it. Now those of you that don't know how to raise children, get in touch with somebody that does. He'll never rob a bank. He'll never go to jail. He knows what don't touch it means. He don't know why you telling him not to touch it. You got to let him know the retribution is coming. These kids don't believe in no retribution. They can go out and kill 4 folk in a restaurant and say, well, you ain't going to do nothing but send me to jail. You know, Charles Bronson used to make some movies called Death Wish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bronson had it up to here. I remember once a naked man was running down the street and he said, you can't do nothing to me, the law. And then Bronson said, oh man, boom. I said, there is a God somewhere. I'm not saying for you to do your child like that. I'm trying to say use some common Christian sense. For God's sake, these children need to be whooped by you. And look, you're not going to beat your, listen, I know this may be televised one day and I'm not going to jail. I did not tell you to abuse your children. I didn't tell you to get no razor strap and put marks all upside their neck. I didn't tell you to get the lighter out the car and burn him on his behind. I didn't tell you to tie his hands up over the bed and whoop him with a bullwhip. Because you going to jail, I'm going to have you booked. But when the little whippersnapper turns over the water, you got to snap his little hand. You got to sting him. You got to let him know what no means. Because when they grow up, they're going to take your car keys. You're going to say no, and they're going to take your car keys and go. And then what you're going to do is you're going to try to talk with them. You shouldn't do that. And they're already 18, eating up everything in the house. You don't tell me what to do, mama. Then you can't get them out your house. I ain't going nowhere.